Hey everybody, what's going on? I am Jamie Dawn, your evolutionary revolutionary astrologer, bringing you your celestial wisdom for the week of June 4th through the 11th of 2023. And excuse me, I am recording this still while I'm serving in my role as staff director for Nine Gates Mystery School. So thank you again for your love, your support, your comments, and just continue to lean in and lift each other up. I think that's super, super important, especially during these times where we're trying to find a little bit more stability and a little bit more lightness in our time and in the human experience. And I'm reminded of what a drop in the bucket this whole thing is. And so perspective is everything because our perspective creates our reality, right? And so what we're working with, especially as this week is coming here, we're coming off of a full moon. Hopefully this full moon wasn't too heavy. It wasn't an eclipse full moon, but it was in the truth-telling sign of Sagittarius. So it's very possible that you may have had some information, some hard truths revealed that you have to work with. But like I say, the better the devil we know than the one we don't, and we don't have to guess or make assumptions. So hopefully this full moon brought some clarity in, especially as we come off of Mercury now being completely out of shadow. Thank goodness. But, with Mercury retrograde, it creates some foggy confusion, misunderstandings, assumptions that can often happen. And so here, hopefully, we're starting off this week with a little bit more clarity. Now, we've got Venus officially moving into the sign of Leo on Monday, the 5th. And it's going to immediately make an opposition to Pluto, which is retrograding in Aquarius, and then we'll dip back into Capricorn on the 11th of this month until January of next year. And so, excuse me, so here we have a moment where relationships could have a little bit of confusion based on maybe the information that showed up. It's like, okay, I have clarity, but now I'm questioning it. We often do that. We can overanalyze things during this time. There's this desire to create something, to have that sense of control, and yet we have to watch out and remember that control is just an illusion, right? And I can tell you, from one control freak to any of you out there, I understand completely. And I watch my mind go, but I want this. And then go, but they told me otherwise. I have to believe them, So we also have to watch out for any manipulation, because especially if we're in that place of great desire or longing for something different, then if someone feeds us just a tiny little bit, or they see our vulnerability and they use it against us, we can easily fall prey to manipulation. So just pay attention, stay really grounded, protect your energy, and remember that just for the 24 hours here, give yourself some time to just be, and to really consciously choose who you spend your time and energy with. This could be a good time to exert some independence. So letting yourself go, you know what, this is what I need in order to feel really good right now. And if you're in a relationship that's a little challenging at the time, or that person needs a little reassurance, you can just tell them, look, this isn't about you and me. This is something I need. We're good. So reassure your partner or your dependent that you still love them and you're not going anywhere. You just need to take care of you. This is also a good time where some collaboration can go a long way if you have a particular agenda, but you need to include others. So watch for that as well, where that independence can be like, I'm going to do this no matter what. But it's so much better if you can include others in your vision, in your mission, and why you're doing things, and give them the opportunity to participate if that's what they choose to do. Now, some insecurities could also come to the surface during this time. So just watch how that gets communicated. Like I say, if you're able to say to your partner, let's say you're the one with the insecurity, to say, look, you know what, I realize you need your independence, or you need to spend some time for yourself. I just need reassurance that we're okay. And then let it go, See if you can have conversations where the logic or the intellect takes over, and then remove the emotions from it. Because especially if you're dealing with an avoidant partner, those emotions can get a little too overwhelming for them. Now, Tuesday, we have the moon in Capricorn. It makes a brief trine to the North Node, and then Mercury and Uranus. So this is on Tuesday, it's really about the moon. and just feeling some of those energies. So there may be a need for feeling somewhat in control of our destiny. Like, I'm going to take this action because I have the resources to do it. I have the power to do it. And I'm just going to get some things done. And that helps me feel a little bit more in control. Great time for you to check off those to-do lists, look at some things where maybe you've been wasting your time and energy, reset that and say, this is where I need to spend most of my time and energy, get some things done, meet with people, have conversations. But more importantly, give yourself a little bit of space in between meetings or in between doing things to listen deeply to your intuition, because it also is going to have a moment where, if you're looking for a particular solution, or you need to have an important conversation, you're not quite sure how to have it, give yourself that space to be able to let something drop in from your higher self that says, aha, now I know what I need to say and how to say it. Because remember, our words can harm or heal. Now, Wednesday, June 7th, Venus in Leo is moving into a square with Jupiter. And so that is going to happen as we move into from Wednesday into the end of the week. And the moon is going to be canoodling or conjunct with Pluto and making a trine to the sun in Gemini. So we have this moon energy coupled with Venus in Leo. So the moon will make an opposition as well to Venus. So Wednesday has a little bit of a tricky energy to it, because we've got this square, we've got a trine going on. Squares mean tension and growth. Trine means ease and harmony. So we could feel a little restless, wanting to make some things happen. We could start wrestling with what we think we want and what we actually need. And so this is an opportunity to play with our boundaries, to be able to check in with ourselves and say, what is it that I ultimately need in order for me to feel really good? There could be some hidden emotions that come to the surface with Pluto involved here. That might not be comfortable. And when we're uncomfortable, you want to see where someone's at on their journey in their spiritual, psychosomatic, psychological, physical levels. Get uncomfortable, because that's where our character really shines, right? So if these hidden emotions come to the surface and they're not comfortable, we're not sure how to deal with it, it can be a little tricky. We also might feel like we need to push or share our thoughts and feelings so that we have some sense of control at this time. Be careful about your audience. They may not be in the right headspace to receive the information you're getting. So it's important timing is important, and also being willing to surrender to the timing that you may not be able to have that important conversation on this day. It might better serve you to push it off maybe a couple of days. And I know that sometimes we feel like I just have to say this, I have to speak my truth. You do, but remember, there's a timing piece of it, because if the audience isn't ready to receive it, it will fall on deaf ears. There will be defenses, all of that. Thursday, the moon in Pisces will canoodle with Saturn, trining the South Node in Scorpio. This energy has a beautiful, compassionate, healing energy. It's a wonderful opportunity. This may be the perfect time to have that bigger conversation if you tabled it the day before, where we can heal a lot of our past hurts. And there may be a lot of empathy that shows up at this time. So it's a beautiful time to have, like I say, have those conversations, those important ones, to say, this is what I'm feeling, this is what I need, this is how I perceive things. How can we work together? How can we bring this into a place that it feels really good for both of us? This is a great time for creativity and sharing space with people who inspire us, who bring us into maybe a higher wisdom kind of environment, and allow us to be energized by exploring some of those higher minded or more spiritual conversations, subject matters, being in this place of beingness. Friday, Venus will move into the exact square with the North Node in Taurus, and this is at 3 degrees. And so there may be a desire for more growth and gathering of tangible things to help us feel more secure in our relationships and ourselves. This comes back also to trusting ourselves. And with that tension there could be situations that come up that's like, can I really trust in what I'm doing? This is an opportunity to give and receive love, but having those difficult conversations and being able to speak the truth and getting in alignment with one another. This is an opportunity for that. Also, creative pursuits can take a spotlight, and that could take away from the relational energy that you're trying to have. And it could be where maybe your beloved feels a little neglected because you're putting more focus on, say, this creative endeavor, or maybe there's other relationships that are taking priority. And so just pay attention to that. There could be some high sensitivity during this day, especially as we move into Saturday, where Mercury will have its last degrees of Taurus. It will finally move out of Taurus and into the sign of Gemini, its ruler. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. That happens on Sunday. So Saturday could have a little bit of this crisis conversation moment. I'd just say that the overall theme for this week may have some really big, important conversations that take place. But if you take your time, try not to force them, that there are going to be plenty of opportunities to communicate how you feel, what you need, boundaries. Mercury ingressing into Gemini on Sunday will have Venus squaring off with Jupiter as well. So this could be a great opportunity to socialize, create new bonds and relationships, interested in many various subjects. When Mercury's in Gemini, we love to connect. We want to be in our local community. We want to be out socializing, doing fun things. There can be a number of conversations that can lead us to greater insights and wisdom within our relationships, especially if we're working with, are we in alignment with our values? How are we using our resources here with Jupiter and Taurus, right? We're looking at, have I wasted some things that now I need to reset? Maybe I need to do a little more spring cleaning. Maybe I need to do a little bit more of this, ridding myself of the things that I've held on to from my past so that I can now truly show up in my most intimate relationships. Now, there's also an indication during this time that boundaries could be a little tricky in trying to communicate them, but they're going to be super important that we have them. So let's just say that you and your beloved are talking about moving in together, but let's just say he or she still has some items from their ex, right? And it's like, well, if I'm going to move in, my boundary is you got to get rid of these items from your ex because I don't want to live with that energy, right? That's just one example. Now, there's many others that can show up here, but it's going to be important for us to know what our non-negotiables are. What is our truth? What is it that we're willing to give up and what are we not willing to give up? There may be talk about money and how it's being used. So I'll go back to the example of, let's say you moving in with someone. It's like, okay, how are we paying the household bills? Do we set up an account just for that? Do we set up a joint account? Things like that. So there's going to be a lot of conversations around resources, money, that sort of thing during this time. So remember this, as I always say, if you're not sure and you need some help, you can do a lot of things on your own, but we're so much better when we can work together. So please bring in a professional, somebody that you care about, somebody that you trust, that you feel safe with to process some of this with you, because we're not in this world alone. We as human beings are meant to connect. We're meant to relate. So let's use our tools. Let's use each other in a positive way to be of service. All right, you guys, I hope this helps. Please like, subscribe, share, comment. Come find me at jamiedawn.com. I look forward to connecting with you when I return. Take care.